Welcome to Bob in the Garden, Episode 3. I'm just sitting here planting a new artichoke plant that someone gave us. And what I'm using to plant it with is earthworm castings and bat guano. I want to keep my garden organic because planting with chemicals and things like that is considered disgusting. So to keep my garden from being disgusting, I'm planting with poo. So I got a lot of really great comments and suggestions from episode 2, and I'll go over those later, but I need to make a correction. Last episode I had said that Masundo suggested that I raise the beds up so that I could just stand there and reach in. That wasn't what Masundo was saying at all. They were saying that I already have raised beds and that I just need to make them 4 feet wide so that I can reach in from the outside, not to raise them up. I got a bunch of people commenting saying, don't raise the beds up unless you have a back problem, which I don't have a back problem, but after a few years in the garden, I probably will, and then I'll raise the beds up. Okay, let's talk about pests again. There's something getting in at night. I had a whole row of rutabaga that was coming up nicely, and it's gone now. So Larkin thinks that it's bunnies. I don't think bunnies can get in here. I think it's ground squirrels that are coming through the fence. But they're coming in at night, and there's no way for me to watch the garden at night from the house because the house is too far away. So there's only one way that I can deal with this. I'm staying here tonight. I'm all set up in my tent, ready to go. I'm just waiting for it to get dark. So let's talk about the feedback from last episode. If you remember last time, I was having that problem with lettuce coming up too densely and I didn't know what to do with it. I got a lot of feedback from people saying, some people saying to transplant it because you can tell that I've got the room to just pull up and transplant. And other people said just leave it because I'm going to be cropping it and pulling it and cutting it anyway for salad. So I might as well just do that as it comes up. I think I'm going to do that because that's less work, and I'm always up for less work. If it seems like I need to transplant later, then I'll do it, but I think this is the way I'm going to go. So anyway, thanks so much for your feedback on that issue. Last week, I asked how you all would have planted those beds differently, and I got a bunch of feedback, specifically from 2 of my gardening experts that are participating on the YouTube page, Masundo and Garden Dimples. They both talked about square foot gardening, saying that rather than planting in rows like a farmer, I could have planted, spaced the seeds all the way around in square foot style. So I'm going to look into that and do that in the next planting. But in the meantime, let's look at what's coming up, because I got a bunch of stuff coming up right now in rows, but it's coming up. So let's take a look at that. Arugula, broccoli, spinach, radicchio. I don't know what radicchio is. Carrots, lots of cilantro, parsley, butter lettuce, properly spaced. Beets, look how good my beets are doing. Cauliflower. Pretty cool, right? I'm excited that stuff that I planted is growing. Anyway, the sun is going down right now. I'm going to settle in, and we're going to find out what happens in this garden at night. All right, I've already got crickets and frogs and owls and dogs making noise tonight, but I'm going to try and get some sleep anyway. So good night, everybody. I keep hearing coyotes, so I came out to see if I could see any. Okay, the coyotes just stopped howling, but there's a wolf that lives down the street, like an actual wolf that someone owns. I think they put it in TV shows and movies or whatever. Anyway, the wolf just howled, and it set all the dogs in the neighborhood barking. Not an easy place to sleep, the garden. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I just heard something over by the gate. So I'm going to go out and check it out. I'm not looking forward to it. It's so cold. I don't think there's anything in the garden right now.
think what I heard was deer on the other side of the fence, but I can't see them because I don't have a powerful enough flashlight.
Well, I didn't see anything last night. I think for this experiment to work, I'd have to sleep out here for like a week straight, and I'm not willing to do that. It is really cold out here. I'm making myself some coffee. I could go to the house and do it, but I took the time to set up a tent, so I'm going to have a camping experience. Speaking of the cold, it was really cold last night, which made me realize that I'm in a little microclimate here, and the wintertime gets really cold, much colder than other parts of Southern California. So I'm afraid of these plants freezing when it gets that cold out. So what do? I'm thinking maybe put some plastic over the garden, like a greenhouse or something like that. Tell me what you think I should do about that. I sort of dread doing the construction of a piece of framework and a bunch of plastic, but I do think that everything's going to freeze. Anyway, thanks for watching the show, and I'm going to have my coffee here, and I'll see you guys next week. It's good. That actually turned out good.
It's cold out here and kind of creepy, and I just realized that this is the Halloween episode of Bob in the Garden. Fitting, I think.